Albshure's Night and Day is a quintessential track from the late 1980s, emblematic of the new jack swing era, a genre blending R&B with hip-hop influences. Released in 1988 as the lead single from his debut album, In Effect Mode, this song quickly became one of the defining hits of its time. With its smooth, sultry delivery and dreamy production, Night and Day set the tone for Albshure's career, propelling him into stardom and cementing his place in R&B history. Night and Day stands out for its lush, synth-heavy arrangement, which complements Albshure's signature falsetto vocals. The song's mellow, mid-tempo rhythm is driven by a distinct pulsating bass line, while the use of electronic drum pads gives it a futuristic, atmospheric vibe for its time.
My favorite section or verse from Night and Day, 1988 In Effect Mode. Wow. If you and I were one girl, the love we'd share would be so fun. Just take my hand and you'll see, girl, that we can take off to another world. I can tell you how I feel about you, night and day. That particular verse, which we call the bridge, would be my favorite section in the song because it's the climax. I'll leave it right there. The most interesting aspect of that album is we recorded most of In Effect Mode in Eddie F's basement on a 4-track. The content we felt was so solid, and we got what's called demo-itis. For those who don't know what demo-itis is when you first come up with an idea and you play it again and again and again in your car and wherever you are, and you get used to it. Then you get a little bread. You get a studio, and you try to duplicate what you did, and it just doesn't sound the same. So what we did was, like the song Ooh This Love Is So, the song that you hear on the final product on In Effect Mode of Ooh This Love Is So, That I Won't Let You Go, is from the original cassette transferred to the big studio, and we kept all the elements from the cassette tape and made it to the album. The music, which we call the soundtrack of our generation, has a prevalent footprint all around the globe, very specifically because there's a generation of women who are starving to be told I love you again, so they reach back to the music that makes them feel good again, the music that brings them to that special place in time. Being that my phone rings as if I was in a Justin Bieber category, but adult contemporary, it must say that there's still a demand for true R&B music. In addition to where that generation came from, Tony, Albsure, Keith Sweat, Mary J. Blige, BBD, New Edition. We studied the Temptations, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. So there's a certain DNA that's embedded within that 80s and 90s R&B that's still prolific enough to stand the test of time. And that's why we're here 30 years later, still doing it.
The production handled by Kyle West and Albsure reflects the artist's unique style, merging traditional R&B elements with the more experimental sounds of the late 1980s. The balance of soulful melodies and cutting-edge beats helped Night and Day achieve mainstream success, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topping the R&B charts. In this interview, the producer Kyle West tells the behind story of creating the song Night and Day.
Did you guys Did you guys only come up with the songs and the music, or how did it work when it comes to creating like Off on Our Own, A Night and Day, and Rescue Me? Did you and Al write them together, or he?
Yes. I usually created the music first.
Okay.
So I just created. That's my gift. I was able to create music, and then the artist, albsure, would hear, and he would his gift is writing lyrics and melody. So he would lock in on my track and go, "Oh, this is what I hear. This is what I hear," and then we recorded the demos ourselves. You know, they were raw. They didn't have the polish of a signed artist yet. And then that's when Eddie F came in, because he would hear it and go, well, you know, I hear this too. And then it would get to Andre. And then Andre said, I like that. Here's 3 or 4 songs. I want to put you with my signed producer, which was Teddy Riley. And then he brought his style. But we wound up, Teddy was saying, no, you guys got this. I'm going to go do this other project, which was Keith Sweat. You guys got this. Y'all go do this. You got this. So I always have love for Teddy, because he knew. He said, no, you don't need me. Y'all go do this. I'm going to go do that. So that's how it usually worked. But the demo stage, myself and albsure, we took care of that.
Now, you said that he said the Michael Jackson, he said you guys, that's going to be a hit. Was that Night and Day? What was the story?
Yes, we did. We demoed Off on Your Own at Teddy's house, and came out really good. And Teddy said, "What's that other song? That other song? I really like that other song." And it had no title yet or anything. And they said, "Yeah, that Michael Jackson sounding song, you know." And it happened to be, it was the demo for Night and Day. It didn't have a title yet or anything, but he heard the vibe of it and was like, I can hear Michael Jackson. This was like the Thriller days, you know? Wow. And he said, he already knew. It wasn't produced yet. It was so raw. But he said, the direction you guys got, that's a Michael Jackson song. And it turned out to be Night and Day.
More than just a chart topper, Night and Day became a cultural touchstone, representing a smooth, romantic vibe that resonated deeply with audiences. Its success paved the way for albsure to become one of the most recognizable voices in the late 1980s and the early 1990s R&B. Today, the song remains a nostalgic favorite, celebrated for its timeless appeal and its significant influence on the genre. albsure's Night and Day is a reminder of the golden age of R&B, where smooth vocals and heartfelt lyrics captured the essence of romance, night and day. Don't forget to comment below, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.